Hello, my name is Hersh,
And I'm Felicia.
and this is the HERshyt Show. A little bit about it, and you're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you'll probably cuss at me, but that's all right. I just want to bring to you the realization of what's really going on in this world that a lot of people are afraid to speak on. Enjoy.
What's the next topic?
Welcome to this week's The HERshyt Show with Hersh and Felicia. All right, you ready for the surprise topic? We're going to blend three of them.
Oh, wow.
Ready?
Okay.
Procrastination, starting over, and renting versus owning.
Those are good ones. Okay.
So procrastination, you should cue in the Goody Moby. Get up, get out, and get. You know what I'm saying? But procrastination, stop bullshitting, man. Stop procrastinating. That's pretty much it. If you want something done, you can't wait until the last minute to get it done. I'm not talking about like schoolwork, homework, stuff like that. Then you're just going to be scrambling, trying to put stuff together. But if you know you're in a situation to where the time is coming up, you got to get a better job, you got to get a secondary job, or you know what I'm saying? Like, your financial situation is what it is or whatnot, and you're procrastinating and bullshitting and dragging it out and dragging it along, you're putting that pressure on somebody else, whether you think about it or not.
Mm-hmm.
You are, because now somebody else is footing the bill.
But not taking responsibility.
So if you're staying in somebody else's house, or, you know what I mean? I'm not meaning like your kids and they're starting over, well, whatever, right? But they still got to get some kind of job and try to help you out. You know what I'm saying? Because as people that care, that give a fuck like we do, you know what I mean? We'll give people that space and tell them, hey, you got a 90-day rule. Where are we at in 90 days? You've seen me do it. They don't talk to me no more, but that's okay.
Well, I mean.
But that's that procrastination. Like, you can't continuously drag it on and on and on and on and on. But again, I don't know what the individual may be going through mentally, emotionally or whatever, right? So that's where the conversation and communication comes in at. You don't pocket check people. You don't ask them how much they've got saved up and stuff like that. But you got to have some kind of communication that, hey man, where do you stand?
If they're living with you.
And if that person is, or even if they're living with somebody else and that's somebody you care about and you're sitting back and watching it happen.
And it's just like they're not taking responsibility, not doing
They're procrastinating. Oh, I'm going to get to it. Oh, it's going to work out. Like, bro, I understand God said that he going to give you everything that you need. But you actually got to put forth the fucking work for it. You can't just expect for something to fall in your lap. Right?
Even if you don't have the funds to give them cut the grass, clean the house,
do something,
go get groceries, something.
But what are you doing besides procrastinating to get yourself in a better situation? Right? And then that'll fall in line with the starting over bit. Starting over is scary, especially when you're comfortable in a situation. Right?
Yes, big changes. And I'm more good with changes now than I've ever been, but I'm very comfortable in my place. It's very.
You're comfortable.
That's it. And like when that
it starts shifting and pivoting,
and all you can do
changing.
is let go of control.
Yeah.
And flow with it.
Yeah. But you cannot procrastinate. If you know that there is a deadline coming up, right? Say the divorce or somebody, your roommate is moving. So now you got 30 days and your roommate comes and tells you, hey man, I done sold the house because I'm not renewing the lease. For whatever reason, I'm not renewing the lease with you. You got 30 days, you got to figure it out. You can't procrastinate to the 28th day to find somewhere else to go. You know what I mean? Yeah, starting over is scary and it shakes you to the core a little bit, but you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to, look at it and be like, okay, this is a challenge. Some people get those challenges and they cram up. And it's okay for 5 or 10 minutes to be frustrated about the situation. You know what I mean? Scream it out, cuss it out. And I used to tell my soldiers all the time, you can cuss about it all day long, but your little hands might want to be moving and working as you're cussing about this motherfucker. But at least the job gets done. You're not procrastinating. Mad as hell while you beating.
Oh yeah, and then I end up hurting myself.
Yeah, you did poke yourself in the face.
I did.
But yeah, you're allowed to get emotional. But you cannot allow it to stop you in your tracks to a point of procrastination. And now you're in a situation to where everybody else is having to jump through hoops to help your situation out because you chose to procrastinate.
Yeah, that's your choice.
You know what I mean? You gotta stop letting blinding factors get in your way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And starting over is scary. That's not just a relationship or situationship or letting go of the one ship that you may have had. You know, it's also moving to another location. You know,
I've done that.
yeah, a different state, a different. You know, in the military, we moved around a lot, whether you fucking wanted to or not. you had to make it happen, and that change is scary.
Well, they just tell you, and you gotta up and go, right?
Yeah. PCS orders, baby. This is your report date. It is what it is. Good luck. You know what I mean? And
you just have no choice, right?
You have no choice. I mean, unless you want to go AWOL and go to jail, you know, and get demoted and go to jail, you know, get put out and go to jail. You know, you got options. But yes, you better go. But that change is scary because you're so used to being around all these certain people. These are your battle buddies. This is what we're doing. And then they give you this piece of paper or this email. Back in the day, it was a little piece of paper from PersCom. But now they send you an email. Guess what, bitch?
Oh, now it's just in an email.
Yeah, pack shit. You know.
You don't get no paper, no nothing. You just get an email.
Here's your orders. Here's your new orders. Right? That's it. But the change is scary no matter how often you've done it. You know. And that's where it falls in line with if you're set in a situation where you might have the option to rent or to own.
Okay.
Some people would rather rent their whole lives.
And this is something I've never been a renter. We've always owned our home.
Yeah.
But a couple of years ago, or a year ago, we were renting a house for a couple of years, and I've never done it before. This is all new to me. My whole world had been changed, and it was an experience. I will say that. It was definitely an experience. So I could see why some people would rent because they don't want to keep up with the maintenance, the upkeep of the house. Mm-hmm. You know, like the landlord's supposed to do all that or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you still have responsibility.
You do.
You know, you got to cut the grass. You know, those things that still have to be done. But like the big thing, the AC goes out.
Yeah. You call the landlord.
You know, the plumbing.
You better hope you got a good landlord.
You know, and we did.
Yeah.
Luckily, you know, anything went wrong, which we were very good tenants.
So
we didn't have to cut the grass cut.
What do you think people would want to? So you think the renting piece would because they don't have to do that maintenance part?
Yeah, you don't have the taxes to worry about. You don't have the high dollar stuff other than renting, you know, paying your rent. But if you got a good payment, now if you're paying like their mortgage and 2 more mortgages added to it for rent,
yeah, that's a problem.
You know, that's inhumane. I'm not gonna lie. That's just inhumane. And that's where it's like
paying $3,500.
Yeah, or you know,
a month.
It's inhumane. Like it got to
and
the point where it was inhumane for us, and I'm like,
their mortgage is like $500, and you're
paying like they're going on vacation. You're paying for all that, and you're struggling, and that's not cool.
Yeah, no.
Just remember what you put out comes back. I just want to say that.
And you also need to live within your means. Yes, there is inflation right now. Got it, understood. But you also need to live within your means. If you're not able to afford that, you know, $2,000 rent or whatever because you want to have 3-4 bedroom home or whatnot, and you have to break it down to a 1 or 2 bedroom, you know what I mean? Then baby, that's just what you're gonna have to do. You know, don't. Then that
I downsize, but
yeah, you got to downsize if you got.
I'm good with that. At my age right now and stuff that's going on in my life, I'm like, you know, I'm having to take care of my parents and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't want another yard to take care of. Yeah. You know, I don't want this. I am fine. You know,
that's why a lot of people buy townhomes and condos.
I am good.
Yeah, because now you just pay the HOA and then
you know, because your home, if you own a home, there's always going to be upkeep. You're going to have, painting, check the wood for termites, you know, rotten wood, replace it. You know, there's always something going on in your home. The older you get, the more you're just like, you know, because if you want to upkeep your home and keep it nice, yeah, there's always going to be maintenance.
Stable, not even just nice, just stable. You got to get the roof redone every now and again. You know,
yeah, we're getting a new roof this week, this Friday. I think we're getting.
What is it, 10 years? I think they said 10. Well, depending on kind of roof you got too.
Oh,
your insurance company, because your insurance, you can get a discount on your insurance if you upgrade the roof, you know, and update the roof. Some insurances will deny you for the claims if your roof is just fair wear and tear and it's been that way for a minute. You know what I mean? For over a decade. some insurance companies can deny you for insurance claim because that's your failure to maintain your house or your property, right? So you got to be cautious of that. But as an owner, you shouldn't be price gouging.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be price gouging. You know what I mean? If you can afford to rent out your property, first of all, I highly advise getting a property manager. We've done it, boss man, myself.
Is that like a landlord type thing, but like somebody?
You get a middleman.
It's a whole company that they do everything, and the ones I found only want 10%.
Yeah, my dad was gonna let me be the landlord over my grandmother's house at one time when she moved.
So you would have been the property manager.
Thank God that didn't happen. Yeah. I couldn't imagine somebody. I'd be like,
because if you go through a third party, first you have to do your research on that company.
No, I'm just blessed. I didn't happen. I think about it. I'm like,
I've been a property manager, and now I do an actual rent through me. So it's rent through me directly, which maybe should not have happened. Like if I was to do it all over again, I would have a property manager.
Okay.
Because that leaves that personal situation out of it. You know what I mean? And I love it to where my tenant can come directly to me. But if they get pissy and get upset about something, then they're not talking to me, and then I have to pull out answers, or vice versa. You know what I mean? If I get upset, I don't want to talk to you. So, it's like that.
A lot of drama, right?
It does. It saves a lot of drama when you have that third party. And plus, that third party is going to do the credit checks. That third party is going to, come by and check on the property. They're going to do the walkthroughs and this and that and the third. And not just anybody's going to be able to rent your location. When us soft-hearted ass people, we'll be like, oh, okay, well, you can come and rent. You know what I mean? Like, I understand that fee situation. You can go ahead and boo, 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 boo. Like mine, I just offered it up. I was like, hey, man, you want to move in? That's how mine happened. But she's very clean. She's very, upkept and stuff like that. And she will communicate with me. That one thing I can't say. Something happens. She's like, hey, man. She'll thank you for that part.
Those companies, they get you market value.
Yes, you will get market value.
We're not getting market value.
We damn sure are not, because we're soft-hearted.
Every year I lose money.
Yeah.
The only way I make money because the property value goes up. So if I sell or anything, I'm gonna make more money back.
So the property manager, you'll make sure you're getting the rent you're supposed to get.
Market rate based on square
We're
footage.
not doing market rent.
So
though.
The market rate right now I think is around 190.
Because you're doing it on your home. Because you're doing it on your own.
We're doing it on our own.
It's coming from here, right?
Right.
Okay.
So I'm just charging what the mortgage company pays me. So there's no extra.
What the mortgage company's charging you, not pays you.
Yeah. So now you get if something tears up or something,
you got to come out of pocket for that.
Come out of pocket and fix it.
Because it's not a traditional. So that's why you do market value, right? The fair market rate. You can go look in your area for the fair market
they're gonna
rate.
give you a square footage price, so $199.
And do they get the money and then turn it to the mortgage and then take an extra and put it in an account to pay for the
damages and stuff like that?
Maintenance and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
They'll
pay
care
you whatever.
You still, as the owner, are still responsible for the repairs. But if you're getting fair market, so say my mortgage is $700, right? And I actually charge $1,200 because of the fair market rate within that area. If I could easily get $1,200-$1,300 out of my house where it's located, right? But I don't do that. Not right now. So
not at the moment.
Yeah, not at the moment. But that way I would be able to take that $400 or $500 and put it into an account. So if something happened to the house,
that's what I'm talking about that way.
I got the emergency funding.
Every year.
Yeah.
For emergency.
Just for maintenance and.
But people like me and Boss Man, we don't have that traditional agreements on our houses. So anything that happens to the property, we get to pay for it.
So y'all basically just doing it out of kindness of your heart,
yes,
like a favor type thing.
It's not even really,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kindness.
But I still understand investing, so I understand that my value is when I either sell it or rent it.
Oh, when I sell it right now, the value from what I looked up, the value of the property right now is $185 as is, because the floors do need to be done. You know what I'm saying? There is some things that need to be done in the property.
You gonna sell it as is?
I would. If worst case, if it came down to that, hell yeah, as is. I'm not putting no more money. I just got a brand new roof and a brand new HVAC system on it. I ain't paying for shit else.
About that.
But when I bought the house, the value was only like $115.
Okay. So you got that much escrow, like built up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been in the house since '08, but it was a lease to purchase until I actually bought it in 2015 outright. So I've actually owned it since 2015.
So what do you think? You think you should rent or own?
I think that people should pay attention to their options, because there's a lot of investment properties that you can get and turn into just an Airbnb. You know what I mean? And have that because you have to be ready when you have tenants. You have to be ready for what I've seen. One of my old battle buddies, he had bought like a quadplex and, houses and stuff and started renting. That's what he's been doing, like flipping houses in real estate. Oh man, the shit that girl put him, the holes and the damages, and then you have to pay money out of pocket to take them to court and do all this and that. Get you a property management office, but you also have to be cautious about the property management offices, because I have also seen where the property management office was charging the homeowner saying, oh, well, this was damaged. We had to fix this. We had to fix it. And come to find out, none of that shit ever got fixed. But they were charging the owners. They was putting these bullshit ass, charges.
So I wouldn't have that problem because I know everything. I mean,
but you can't, if you're living in a different location and you're trusting this property management office.
No, you don't trust
to
nobody.
Be telling that. Mm-hmm. But you can't just pop up. You have to give a 24-hour notice. And if you're living out of state or, hours away, and you're busy doing life and all that, and you're entrusting
you
this
want
company.
To entrust, but
yeah. But you have to do your research on some of these property management offices too, these real estate offices. But they will make sure that the credit, and if that person is not paying on time or whatever, like they will go through the court system and all, but you still have to go to court and all that too. But you're working together. You're putting that middleman in there. So just do your research.
I think it just depends on the person and their lifestyle. If renting is, sometimes renting is better for the person.
Yeah. And I believe in that
if they
too.
work all the time, they're never at home.
And if they don't want to move. But a lot of people want to be able to move from,
yeah, that's just sometimes they like to go. I think it just depends on the person.
But you can't fuck up your rental history neither. And that's another thing. You could put your rent on your credit report.
Now.
Yes.
Used to couldn't.
Yes, you can. So there's
time.
You can there's if your landlord is like flat out refusing to do the verifications, you can pay for it. So there's a few of them: Experian, Rent Bureau, rentreporters.com, turborent.com, positive rent payment programs. Like just Google renter's credit, adding the renter's credit. So you could pay some of them, just do your research on them and figure out which one works best for you. But that way you have to give your bank permission to be able to allow this company to review your bank statement to verify that you have paid, because they'll go back. I think some of them are 24 months, some of them are 12 months, stuff like that. But your bank is not just going to let anybody come in and verify your shit. So you have to call your bank and give it permission after you set up the account. But you're paying a certain amount, a month for this account for them to put it on your credit report. You know what I mean? So there are different ones out there. That's a way for you to build your credit, not just your rental history.
Mm-hmm.
That's for you to build because in order for you to buy a house, you have to have, some type of installment. It's your credit history. What types of credit do you have? Revolving and installment. It's the length of your credit history. It's your debt to income ratio is the biggest piece. You know what I mean? And your on-time payments, you have to pay attention to stuff like that. So even if you want to rent and then you finally be like, you know what? I want to settle down. I want my forever home. You know what I mean? This is what you need to do. You got to have your ducks in a row, and things stay bad shit stays on your credit. What, 7 years? I think it's 7 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is one way to build your credit, putting your light bill on there, putting your gas bill on there, putting that Experian boost. There's different programs to be able to start building your credit now. And there's first time home buyer programs.
Yeah.
And there's even what I think is Divvy or something like that. There's even programs to where you pick out the house, they'll buy it, and then you do at least a purchase through them, through that company. Like there's third party companies. Yes, you may end up paying a little bit extra, or whatever, but there's ways to do it. Even if you need a rental property right now and your credit is kind of, you're just starting to build your credit or starting over with your credit because of the bad divorce or whatever happened.
And that happens.
Because shit happens in life. And they'll actually pay your rent and then you pay this third party company. And, but they charge you a little bit extra to use their service. But there are ways to be able to get somewhere. But procrastinating is not one way to get in there if you need somewhere to go. There's programs out there that's available for renters, for owners. For sale by owner, FSBO is another route. Foreclosure list is another route. You might just pay the property tax, the back property taxes.
And that's where you get the good deals right there.
You do. I'm scared of those. The one thing
because you're gonna end up putting a lot of money into them too.
And a lot of those, you're responsible for getting the old tenant out.
Yeah.
I found out. And that's hard to tell somebody you don't pay $80,000 over the last 20 years, but because you couldn't pay your $2,000 property tax, it's mine now. You got to leave.
That'd be tough.
That's sad.
That's a hard one.
That'd be
So
tough.
I couldn't, and I get those notices as an investor. I get those all the time. Like, we're doing an auction, we're doing this. And I'm like, I just can't put people out. So it's not for me. But I think it's a great opportunity for investors. Things like that. But I would only do it if there was no tenant.
I could see where it'd be like an older person or something. Be like, man.
Oh yeah, I would probably pay their back taxes and be like, baby, you stay right here. Don't even worry about moving.
But Granny, it's okay.
Could you imagine your grandma losing the house?
No, that would not. That would be.
I'd want to fight somebody.
That's what happens.
I'd want to fight somebody. But see, I would be the type of person to the way that I'm set up.
I know, but I'll help you. It's okay.
I'll pay the back taxes. The house is mine, but you could stay here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I would not put.
Well, I put myself in that position. What if that was me? An older person. Sometimes me, I'm like,
that is extremely heartbreaking.
You got to be a sharpie in that game. You got to be.
But see, I would be. I don't know, the killer whale, so to speak. You know what I mean? The Free Willy kind of.
Free Willy. No, she didn't say
I would be the sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? The Free Willy, because I would pay the back taxes and just let them stay until.
Rent from you, kind of.
And just rent from me, whatever you could pay. 100. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the elderly people are on disability. Give me $50 a month. You know what I'm saying? Because the house would be mine.
Yeah.
It would be mine. So I can do whatever the hell I want to with it. Exactly, and I can do what I want with it. I'm not going to force nobody to move like that. I wouldn't.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think it's foreclosure.
But now
great investment, but like that.
Now, if it's somebody that's just
they not be in there,
a hard ass and fuck that, I ain't paying, and
No, I have no trouble with that. No, you get
baby. Don't even worry about it.
No, I could be the sweetest human on the planet. Most forgetting, but there's some cases.
Don't take advantage of other people.
I'm like, oh, you said you wasn't coming out. Okay.
Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Stay right there, matter of fact. Don't even worry about it.
I'm like, watch my little bitty tiny ass bitch.
I can see her coming back with the drill and just take the door down.
She would.
I would.
You don't have no door, no window, and then when they leave, you put it all back.
Look, okay. I would. We both going to jail today, damn it.
And I think I've done that before. I've literally
because you can get them arrested for trespassing, but now you're going to get arrested.
My nephew wouldn't, back when he was little, he wouldn't quit playing the game, wouldn't mind. I said, okay. I took the whole TV, the game, everything. Big old TV. I took the whole thing. I said, have fun finding it. I put it underneath the house, underneath crawl space, right in the middle of the house. Mm-hmm.
Lord Jesus.
I said, have fun.
So be mindful. As a renter, do not take advantage of the property. That is not your house. You have to take care of that property as though it is yours because you are paying rent. So it's temporarily yours. But don't go through thinking you can do upgrades and changes and shit because all you're doing is putting money into somebody else's house.
Yeah.
If you don't plan on buying that property. You know what I mean?
That was a big thing for me. I like my space and I like colors. I like to decorate, and I like to change. I look like a doorway needs to go there. Let me cut that. You know what I mean? I'm like,
you just fucking up somebody.
Yeah, let me cut
But my thing is just get with the owner and be like, hey, so this is what I was thinking. I'll pay for it. But you know what I'm saying? But you have to remember, you're paying for somebody else's property.
Mm-hmm.
So you buying new faucets and putting in fucking...
See, that was my problem. I'm like, I hate that faucet. But I'm like, no, it's not mine.
But you can do stuff like that. You know what I mean?
But I wouldn't do it because I'm like, this isn't even my stuff. I like, no, we're good.
Exactly.
But now I'm like, Now I can do whatever the hell I want.
Now, if you're planning on purchasing that property, then yeah, go ahead. Put some
Yeah,
money
but
into it
there's a
and-
different. That was a different thing for me. That was a challenge.
Rent to own is different. Lease to purchase is different. You know, outright buying, foreclosure, auctions are different. Like you're buying as is. Like you're not.
Yeah,
able
sometimes
to
this
do a debate.
land, like I see these land on auctions, and I'm like, oh,
That's what I want.
I know I see it. Like a lot of it's in Alabama, but I don't even care.
I'm telling you, GSA auctions. I told y'all that on the last show. You
It's
know, it's-
land. I'm like, I'm obsessed with land. I'm like, what are you gonna do with
There's
land? I'm like,
land
I
out
don't
there.
know. I just want to go lay in the middle of it.
Especially if I can find land with a water feature, like a lake, creek, pond.
So we have a creek right next
Because you
to
can make it a campsite. You can rent it out as a campsite.
That's what's so pretty about where I'm living right now. There's a creek right next to it.
I love that.
I mean, and it's like a little sanctuary for me. I go down and it's a creek.
All I'm thinking is water moccasins and mosquitoes. I'm just
We grew up with it, so I love it. I love it.
Well, y'all be proud of me.
Uh-oh.
Y'all be so proud of me. No, it's a good thing.
Okay.
I put snake away around the perimeter.
Uh-oh. No more snakes.
She's not going to get bit this summer.
No, it wasn't for me. It's for Andrea because she's like terrified. She's seen a little Eastern king snake about that big. She's like, ah! And then she took off. And I'm like, where are you going? I was like, it's like a lizard. I thought they're
Her
harmless.
fiance
I
scared
don't
us.
know. The king snakes,
She bolted.
when they get big, they look scary. They're black and
So I
Well,
put that
some
out for
snakes
her.
are good to have around your house because
I love
It's-
king snakes.
It's
I mean,
scary though. I've seen some long, like 10 feet.
that's probably a king snake.
Yeah.
but they're killing the rat, the disease,
So we
yeah.
didn't do anything to it. We just let it go. We watched it, so we made sure it was leaving away from the house, but we didn't mess with it.
No, I love. See, my dad, me and him used to catch them and then put them underneath the house because he's terrified of rodents. Like he is like a kid. Like he's it's hilarious.
Christy, you gotta stop doing that shit to your dad. Go ahead.
I know. No, and then she put a snake, like I hit the snake going up like where you walk up the steps. I'm like, you gonna get smell?
She's an asshole, man. Christy, we love you, but you're an asshole. But no, for real. So bottom line is don't procrastinate. If you got shit you know needs to get done, yes, depression is real. Yes, you know,
Yeah, it's
you
very hard to get motivated. Very. Yeah.
You're okay to step back and take a breather, stand out in the field and scream a little bit or
And it's
whatever.
okay to rest.
It's okay to rest. Don't feel bad for taking a break, you know, but you can't do that stagnant water stinks because once it starts settling and you're going to start growing shit. And we don't need that. We don't need you starting to smell and growing fuzzy
Stank.
wuzzies. Yeah.
Stanky flapjack.
Start making and get with the
Stanky flapjack.
No flapjack. But get with you need to also get with the smart people. People that work in those sections. Don't just listen to your friends or go on Facebook and ask the dumbass questions. Google is your friend. You know what I mean? Go to the smart people and just closed mouth don't get fed. Start asking the right questions. What website can I go to? What programs are available? Because yes, employment is kind of hard. There's jobs out there. So that's a whole nother one with the job, shameless job stuff. Get a job to get a job to get a job. Get something to get started. You know what I mean? And just don't procrastinate and expect for miracles to happen. You know what I mean? Unicorns and rainbows are real. But you can't expect for a miracle to drop in your lap if you're not willing to go out and work for it, right? Renters versus owners, it's really your choice. But if you're a renter, you need to take care of that person's house just like it was because you're literally.
We left it exactly like and I took pictures just to prove. You know.
I was always taught that you leave something better than you got it.
Mhm.
I'm not saying
we
to
were
go in and paint and do all this other stuff, but if this is not going to be your forever home and you haven't worked out a situation to where you're going to be buying this property, bare minimum, but keep the carpets cleaned. Make sure you take care of
it.
No holes in the walls.
I made sure the vacuums were,
Yeah.
the floors were vacuumed, you know.
Take care of it. That's not your fucking house, man. You just temporarily staying there. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So take care of it. Don't put somebody in a situation where now they got to go to court and overcharge you. You know what I mean? Because you can get locked up for some stuff for messing up somebody else's property, destruction of property and whatnot. So do what your pocket, your freedom, and your sanity can handle. Understand if you want to be the renter one day or the owner, you know, from bouncing around. There's first-time home buyer programs.
Yeah, that was different. I
There's
think we used that like 20 years ago.
there's ways to get your rental history as building credit onto your credit report. There are programs
I'm
out
so
there.
glad that's finally available.
But you may have to pay for it because some landlords are assholes and they don't want to do the verification. So you may have to do a backdoor around, which is okay, but make it do what it do, right?
But it'd be worth it though.
It will, because it'll build an installment.
Yeah,
like
when
a
you make
monthly
your payment every time on time, and then you get nothing, nothing from it. You know, whether than just a good word, but you get nothing on your report from it. That bites, you know. But,
and don't move other people in if that's not your home and you're renting.
Yes.
Don't move other people in. Don't do it.
That's very common.
That's one way to get evicted. Does it? I mean,
that's
I'm
very
serious.
common. If people know you got a house with like extra room.
And if you're renting from somebody that you know cares and does stuff because they want to, you know what I'm saying? Don't take advantage of it. Don't bullshit
think
that
somebody's
person.
got extra room or a basement that you can come crash into a place. Please, no.
Yeah, no. I've lived in my car, and starting over sucks. It sucks. I'm telling you.
Sometimes starting over is just a simple mattress in the floor.
Not even a mattress, bro.
I mean, you know, I had not a
4 or 5.
I had a mattress sitting in the floor.
A pallet.
Yeah, I had a mattress sitting in the floor, just a mattress, and I had you know, just the simplest thing. But that was me, like starting over.
Don't let nobody make you feel bad. As long as you got a roof over your doggone head and you are trying and attempting a little bit by little bit, don't be ashamed. Go to a thrift store, go to a yard sale, go to a flea market, clean that shit up.
I don't care if I'm a millionaire. I'm still going to go to thrift stores. I'm still going to go to yard sales. I'm still going to go to flea markets.
Yeah, it's every little bit. Start getting your stuff up a little bit at a time, because your true peoples is going to come around regardless of what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's yours. Be proud. You did that accomplishment. You didn't procrastinate, and you handled business.
Yeah, once you accomplish something, even the smallest thing, it means the world.
Oh man.
You know, like when you know, I never paid the bills, but I knew I kept up with the checking account.
Yeah.
But as far as paying the bills, I never done that. Like TJ always done that. Well. And it's not that I wouldn't, but he just knew his thing. Like, he just knew what to do, right?
Yeah.
So when I left, I finally took over. Like, my sister was renting my grandmother's house, so I moved in there while she moved to Mississippi. So I was like having to learn. I wrote everything down.
Having to learn how to do it all.
And I wrote down like the dates that stuff was due on the thing. Like, it was like a child doing it. But I thought, okay, this is due here. Let me write that down. This is due here. So I wrote it all down. And when I finally was able to pay, you know, and pay it on my own and check it off, that was like huge for me.
It is. That's an accomplishment.
It was something so small for somebody else, but that was so big for me.
Yeah. You learn how to do it.
It was huge for me.
Yeah. Definitely get you a budget book. Learn how to learn. Trust me, you want to learn. You don't want to be ass out in the wind.
You know, and I'm 30-something years old, like learning how to do that. You know, I'm like, okay, this is due on 2/18. Check. You know, it was so tacky, but that was my life.
But now everything, you can actually get it emailed to you. And once it gets emailed to you, pull out that old school. I got my little composition.
I write everything down. I like to see it. I write with pen and paper.
Yep.
Because me writing it registers in my brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm more of
and
a
then you'll
paper.
get into that habit. You know what bills are due and rough estimate of how much is due every month. But if you out here getting your extra money, your income tax come in, and you're not putting that up to the side to either buy the home if you're doing like a rent to own, or wanting to buy the property, or get your car fixed, or have just emergency funding, and you get that little bit of money in your pocket and it starts burning. You know, you got to rent cars and buy shit, and you know what I mean? Like a little junkie and shit, you know what I mean? It happens. You get excited because now I have a little bit of extra money. Mm-hmm. Put that money to the side, baby. You just gonna have to.
Just know at some point you're gonna be asked to leave.
Yes.
Let's just say that. I don't think people realize that when they're renting.
Yeah. At some point.
Some people rent for 2, 3, sometimes even 7 years. At some point, that owner's gonna come back to cash in their investment.
Yeah, that's always a possibility.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
I had a homegirl call me the other.
That's what happened with us.
I had a homegirl call me like about 2-3 weeks ago. That was like, you know, there's somebody, but I already have somebody in my house. But she's been living there. She's been living at her spot for 9 years, and the owner just came and said, "Hey, y'all got 30 days." I know people that's been there
10 years and they still haven't said anything. But still, you know, that's a long time to.
It's not your house. You know what I mean?
That person, like, say if they get a cancer or any type of medical emergency,
they need that money.
They might be for that surgery.
So it's not even about you. It's about them needing to get money by any means necessary.
It's business. It's business. When it comes down to renting somebody else's property, it's business. It's nothing personal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that the owner may not even want to have to buy it, you know, sell the property or whatever.
I knew somebody that owned the house but not the land. And the man came back for his land. He He gave them about 6
They had to move the house?
Gave them time to move the house. They couldn't move it. They had no savings, no way to move it. They ended up tearing it down.
How did that happen?
Just never.
They never bought the land.
Never been about their business. Never going back to make sure we can lease. Let me buy a quarter acre.
How do you buy a house and not the plot?
You can lease the land.
That's big in farming.
You lease the land.
They have farms. You can lease a part. Say if somebody got 100 acres, they may lease you 5 acres.
Yep.
You pay them $2,000 a year or something.
Yep.
And that was popular back in the day. You don't see it a lot now.
Yep.
You can still do it.
You can
I would
lease the
be
land.
devastated.
Yeah.
Lord, I'd just be taking down sections. Oh, well. And I'd be labeling, this goes on the left side.
But even like emergency, like when hurricanes and stuff come in, I've had
that's
people
devastating.
do that. Like say you buy a double wide or something like that, because they got some nice ass trailers these days.
No, I'm telling you something.
They have a trailer park. They don't own the
Yeah,
land.
they
They're
don't own the
leasing the land where their trailer is at.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how trailer parks.
And then when the trailer gets jacked up because of a hurricane or a tornado or whatever, and this person decides my land is not going to be leased out for mobile homes anymore, I'm just going to sell the property because now it's a flood zone or whatever reason, you got to find a way to move your trailer or they're knocking that bitch down. You have to sign it over to them. And then they
I
knock it down.
understand that, but a house, like a full blown, like
Yeah.
this house on land, I'm like,
That was my first time hearing that and seeing
Yeah,
that.
you're leasing the
Yeah.
land. You're not, and if that person wants to sell that land, then you have no choice.
so when you buy a house, make sure you're like buying the land too.
Yeah,
Good
if
Lord.
it's not in the subdivision, you gotta look at all that.
yeah,
You gotta search some deeds.
yeah.
You have to look at all that, everything.
Make sure it's not in a flood zone. You gotta, is it well water? Is it city
And
water?
did you
Is
know-
it power?
Because
Because
this
you
is
may
something
have
I
to
found
pay.
out within the last 2 years. Say you do have land, your purchase land or house and land, and say your neighbor has land over here, and y'all join it together. Just say you build a whatever it is, a flower bed or something on their land. Say you go over 4 feet,
Right.
and in 7 years, if they don't say anything, you can claim that piece of property and
What?
make it yours.
I seen that. I seen somebody with a fence that they had
Yeah.
built the fence too far over my
Yes, that's happened with my
my
mama's
accident.
house.
And when they went back to find out the fence had been there so long, they had to concede that land.
Yeah, they can do it.
Oh,
it
wow.
Because
that happened.
But it has to be a certain amount of time.
You had to take
It has
care
to be
of
7
They-
years.
They've been
Okay.
taking care of that long. It just gets conceded over. Like it's crazy laws. It's laws that
I never knew how I found that out. My mama's house. Like there was somebody, and it made me so mad. He started inching over, started taking and building a fence, kept inching it over and over and over. This is my childhood land. My mama lives on now, so I know like every corner of that, because I lived on it, and I thought that's going too far over next to that tree. I use trees for marker for everything. I'm like, no, that's not right. Like I know that tree, the land goes past here. No, all of a sudden it's going past the tree. And I'm like,
Oh, so you need to make sure, you need to be careful and have somebody come. Yeah.
so yeah, and they admitted he gave him like $5,000 for it or something. I mean, it was like not enough to,
Do anything.
after something was
with
said
it.
about it, it was like,
So take care of the spot, man, that you reside in. Don't steal nobody else's land. This is not the fucking 1500s and 1800s and Yellowstone type days, right? We don't do them. But make sure you're doing what you do in the household. Take care of the household. Speak with the landlord or the property manager when something's popping off. Don't procrastinate, and don't feel like it's a forever home and put too much money into it that you could have been saving up to get your own shit. But that's it. That's all right. Starting over is scary, but it is very much possible, and always be prepared for change because shit does happen.
Yep.
Till next time, this is the HERshyt Show.
Be sure to log on to youtube.com and subscribe to the HERshyt Show at TheRShytShow.